The spirit of love that we express in NA is the most powerful thing we have. The basic text describes it as the flow of life energy from one person to another. And we see this in action when we watch an addict come back to life in the rooms. The hugs we give are an instrumental part of our method and our experience. NA is all about love. When we are practicing Step 12 to the best of our ability, love becomes central to all that we do. There is no more powerful antidote to the despair and self-destruction of addiction. The compassion that we feel for the newcomer is something we learn to extend to our families, to those around us, and eventually to ourselves. Some say that ultimately Step 12 becomes about reaching out to anyone who is suffering. Certainly, we cannot look away as we once did. Still, we can sometimes have an easier time offering compassion to newcomers than to old-timers who are struggling. Unity is a practice of love. We rise above our judgments and come together no matter what. In the process, we learn forgiveness and reconciliation. We don't always forgive before we start to work together again, but we are obliged to make peace because we cannot easily avoid one another. Forgiveness is an action and a decision. We need a lot of forgiveness, and we also get to provide it. Forgiving is its own reward. We start to find peace within ourselves. When we are free of guilt, shame, and resentment, our minds can be still. Some of us struggle to give ourselves permission to be happy. We may not think we deserve it, or we may fear that we will stop working on ourselves. Some of us have been unhappy for so long that it feels uncomfortable to let go of our bitterness. When we treat happiness as a spiritual principle, we can see its relationship to humility. Our ability to enjoy our lives is directly related to our willingness to let go of our self-obsession. If we think of happiness as a spiritual asset, we can see it as both a gift and a goal. We work toward it by letting go of those things that we can see standing in its way, and leave the rest to a power greater than ourselves. Humility and empathy are essential to a rewarding spiritual life. As we find the deep joy that comes to us through our practice of compassion, we find that happiness is much more available to us. I had to make a decision to be happy, said one member. But making that decision in a way that could really work meant having a foundation on which that happiness could rest. Walking through our own challenges helps us to find compassion for ourselves and others. As we develop our ability to feel and express empathy, we come to realize that the same spirit dwells in all of us, and that none of us is more or less important than another. We are all sick and suffering, sometimes no matter how long we have been clean. We all bring hope and answers sometimes, even when we don't feel it ourselves. One day clean is a miracle, whether or not it's ever followed by another. When we see a member experience a real breakthrough with 20 or 30 or more years clean, we can see that truly recovery never stops. Love is an action word. Loving action takes many forms. Sometimes it's a warm hug. Sometimes it's telling someone the cold, hard truth. But when we act from love, with the intention of loving, it shows. It matters. We can feel it, and the people surround us feel it. We can enjoy it. Literally, it brings us into joy. When we finally trust that we can love and be loved without being hurt, we are able to tap into our connection to others and to the world around us. Staying clean for a long time means not just that recovery happens, but that life happens. We grow up and grow old. We raise families, change jobs, and navigate the world just because we are alive and clean. We come to understand that happiness is an inside job, a spiritual experience that can get stronger with recovery. We find that no matter what happens on the outside, joy can still live within us. A member shared, I embraced my feelings and found comfort in them because I knew they were part of my remaking. I was alive. As much as it felt like I might come undone, I had faith that it wasn't the end. I knew that absolutely nothing in the world mattered except love. I have wasted too much time not loving. Love is a form of intelligence. It's the intuition that brings us to the right words when there are no words, that tells us when to step forward and when to back away. We feel love when we speak truth. When we are in our higher power's will, we naturally carry a message, and the message we need finds us. When we clear away the defects that blocks the passage, we can be a clearer channel for the love that surrounds us. We tap into a love that is greater than ourselves and find that we are able to do things we never thought possible. Brilliance comes through us. There's a saying in recovery that as we keep going, the road narrows. That's partly true. Our willingness to make the same old mistakes diminishes, and we know better than to act on our impulses much of the time. But that's not the end of the story. It's as if we pass through a funnel. The way gets tighter and more uncomfortable as we begin to adapt to our new way of life. And then, without warning, it opens up and we are free. The road is no longer narrow. Sometimes it seems like there's no road at all. We move to our own rhythm, finding a pace and a direction that is right for us. The trip is inward and it never stops. We keep learning and growing, finding ways to live and to use our experience to help others. No matter how long we have been clean, there is still more for us to learn and more for us to share. Our first step placed us on a path to awareness, connection, and serenity. We received much more than simple abstinence. We have been given an endless supply of principles to guide us as we travel through our lives. In step 3, we make a decision to turn our will over to the power greater than ourselves. And in step 11, it is returned to us, transformed. The desperation we once felt at our predicament was the opening to a passion for caring, sharing, giving, and growing. Where once we lacked the power even to keep ourselves alive, now we take action in our own lives and in service to others, and we are amazed at the results. We live with dignity, integrity, and grace, and we know we can always get better. The more progress we recognize in ourselves and our fellows, the more we know is possible. What first appeared to us as a way out now offers us a way into a life we hadn't imagined, into joy, into hope, into growth that never stops. We continue to get better. We continue to discover new ways to live, new freedom, and new paths to explore. We travel together as one in fellowship, and we pave the road as we walk it for all who may follow. No matter how far we have come or how far we know we have to go, when we live clean, the journey continues.